Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Okay, we're moving on to the consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be action items that are routine and can be enacted in one motion. Before we ask for the motion, are there any board comments? Any public comments? Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved.
A motion?
I'll second.
And a second. You got those names, Natalie? Okay. Public communications. No, special presentations. I guess we could take a vote. Now we're going to move on to a special presentation. And we have Cynthia Fontaine. Do you want her at that one or the other one?
Morning. Yeah.
Okay.
Morning.
They might see you better over on this one, I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh, now I'm totally disoriented. Good morning, gentlemen and
Morning.
lady.
Might move the mic a little closer. I had that problem earlier.
I noticed. How's that? Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking. My name is Cynthia Fontaine. I live here in Marysville, down the road on F Street. And I'm here today representing, God bless you, a community program called A Simple Gesture. It's combating in another small way the problem of hunger in our community. I know you've recently had some presentations on food insecurity, and I don't have to tell you that it is a growing problem. In our county, even 18% of children are considered having an insufficient amount of food. And that, of course, affects their education and their health. And all residents, adults and children, 13% of Yuba County residents experience hunger every month. As you also probably know, but many people don't, hunger is not just an issue of homelessness. It is not just the unhoused that are hungry, but in fact, the majority of food pantry clients are not homeless. They are the working poor and those whose temporary financial crises have left them with not enough money to buy food through the end of the month for themselves or for their children, for their families. When I was on the vestry of St. John's Episcopal, also down the road on 8th Street, in the fall of 2012, we convened a conference on food insecurity, gathering together more than 60 representatives from churches throughout Northern California, plus the Yuba-Sutter NGOs, government agencies, all of whom work in one way or another with the issue of food insecurity. We had a great day, including a lunch that was prepared just from the food that we distribute at our food pantries. We exchanged a lot of best practice ideas, discussed problems, because we each had our own way of running a food pantry. So at the end of the day, we all came away with a lot of good ideas. That was the fall of 2012. Throughout 2013 at St. John's, we tried to implement some of those good ideas and also continued discussion with one group in particular, which was the Episcopal Church up in Paradise that started this program called A Simple Gesture, and also known as the Cool Green Bag program. We decided that we didn't want this to be just an extension of St. John's Loaves and Breeches program. We wanted it to be a community-wide program. So we turned to the Catholic Ladies Relief Society, which is headquartered at St. Joseph's, also down the road. We had already worked with them to coordinate our food pantry hours so that we weren't open on the same days, which gave our residents more of an opportunity throughout the week to get food. Now, St. John's has been running a food pantry since 1970, so that's more than half a century. Pretty impressive. However, the Catholic Ladies Relief Society began their food program here in Marysville in 1888. So we figured they were pretty good partners. They didn't have a food pantry as we understand them today. They used to store food in garages, and when a family was in need, they would get the food to them. So we worked with them. We talked to the people in Paradise. They kindly gave us their logo and designs, and we adapted that for our use here. We started lining up donors, first from just among our two congregations, but we also got Marysville City Council members to sign up to be donors. And we launched in the beginning of 2015. Our first green bag pickup was in February, Valentine's Day of 2015. So when we pick up next month, it will be the 10th year that we have picked up food in February from our donors. So how does this work? People who sign up get a cool green bag. And by the way, Supervisor Blazer is a member, so he can tell you how easy it is. Over the course of 2 months, you just fill this up when you go to the store and you see a BOGO or a special on something for the kinds of food that we need, which are non-perishables, cans, packages, boxes, etc. And there's a list on the tag which explains the kinds of commodities that are most in demand. We create grocery bags for 3 different kinds of clients. Those who have full kitchen facilities, those that might have limited food preparation facilities, such as being in an SRO or transitional housing, and maybe they just have a microwave or a hot plate. And then the third category are the unhoused who need to have meals ready to eat. So at the end of 2 months, when you've been just filling up your bag, on the second Saturday of even numbered months, and there'll be a quiz that you remember that, the dates are all on here, a volunteer comes from one of 17 different zones, and you put this on your porch, and we come and pick it up, and we leave an empty bag for you to fill up again. You don't have to take the bag anywhere. All you have to do is, over the course of 2 months, just keep putting a few things in that bag, and then we pick it up. We started out with 100 donor households, and we now have between 225 and 250 households between the 2 counties. But we need more, which is why I'm here. In 2015, I'm sorry, 2017, we added a third food pantry, which is St. Vincent de Paul Society headquartered at St. Isidore. And that was in 2017. In just last year, we added our fourth beneficiary, so to speak, our fourth partner, which is the Yuba County Office of Education. And we provide, from the things that we collect, we provide healthy snacks that they can then distribute to. Right now, there are about 45 students who are in special programs, and I wrote them down: Thomas Matthews Career Prep Charter School, and the various special day classrooms for special ed. So they are now being sent home with healthy snacks as well. We obviously don't source all of our food just from the green bags. We get it from our wonderful partners at the food bank. We purchase it from various groceries and wholesalers. But this additional non-perishable food that we pick up, which is about 165 or more bags every 2 months, really fills in the blank and allows the resources that we do have to buy food to be spent on the fresh foods, proteins, dairy, eggs, meat, vegetables, fresh vegetables. So it really allows us to give a nutritionally balanced grocery bag to our clients. Using the green bag and other food sources, over the first 9 years of the program, we have collectively had contact 75,000 times with people in need. Some people come and they're getting a bag for their whole family, so we count each of the family members. So 75,000 times we have supplied groceries to people in our community. That translates to 925,000 meals. So we're going to hit 1 million this year. So that's why we need you, is to spread the word, tell your constituents, tell your friends and family. And I have a handout to give you all the details. And I have bags for all of you. And inside each bag, you will find not one, but 2 sign-up sheets, except for Don, so that you can fill one out and you can give the other to one of your neighbors or friends. So, any questions?
I just have a quick comment. Food insecurity has truly become one of our top crisis issues. I think the food pantry said there's about a 60% overall increase in demand, and I think some pantries are 300 or 400%.
Yeah.
It's really a little bit scary. So nowadays, we have Costco. So you go to Costco and you get a case of something, and you end up with half the case on your shelf. So I'm really appreciative to have this ability to fill up my green bag. So thanks, Cynthia. And I think we have other comments.
I have a comment through the chair. So how far out do you go to pick these bags up? Because my district's very rural. So do you have a drop-off location?
No, we go right to your home.
It doesn't matter how far, Camptonville, Challenge, doesn't matter where it's at?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, if you want to bring it here, we can pick it up at your office as well. But we do have people who go out to the foothills as well.
Yeah.
Hunger's everywhere, and so are our food donors.
Yeah, well, I know that there's a food delivery system that goes up to my district as well. So it's very well appreciated.
A very timely presentation, I think. Anybody else?
Through the chair, thank you very much. That's a wildly successful program for many, many years. Thank you.
Oh, thank you all. And it really comes down to all the people who have signed up to do this. And the numbers fluctuate because our original 100, some of those people have moved away or died or in assisted living and can't contribute anymore. So we keep replenishing the supply. So we'd like to hit 300 at least this year. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I have a whole bag of bags for you.
Thank you again. So Natalie, we're up to public communications. Would you like to read that off for us?
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we have one request to speak card.
Okay.
Tony Farley.
Tony Farley from South UC, South Sawyer County. This is nice day. It's pretty stop rain right now. It's close, but it's stop rain. Thank you, County Administrator Kevin. Thank you, County Council, best attorney ever. Thank you, Don Blazer, District 2. Thank you, John Misk, District 5. Thank you, Gary Bradford, District 4. Thank you, Seth Fuller, District 2. And thank you, Annie Vasquez, District 1. Good job. And thank you, Rachel over there, the new Russ Brown. Thank you, the Sheriff. And thank you, Tom Warder, the Bill for Space shirt, Bill for Space. And thank you, Dr. Liu. Thank you for your service.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
So county departments. All matter listed under county departments are action items, which means we will be voting on these, which are considered and voted on separately. The first one is 11-2024. Administrative Services approve agreements with Cone Inc. for the modernization of 1 Montgomery elevator and 3 Dover elevators at the Yuba County Courthouse Jail, and authorize chair to execute. And we have Perminder.
Good morning, Board, CAO, County Council. I'm Perminder Baines with Admin Services. I'm here to recommend that the Board approve the 2 agreements, one for the modernization of the Montgomery elevator and the modernization of the 3 Dover elevators. We went out to RFP for both projects, and we received 2 bids for each. Coney ranked the highest and was the best value for the county, and that's who we're recommending that we execute the agreements with. The Montgomery elevator is approximately $386,000. And the 3 Dover elevators is approximately $970,000. The modernization consists of basically replacing everything except for the cabs, pulleys, the motors, the cables, hydraulics, electrical panel, control panels, and also with the Dover agreement, we're also doing the fire panel. The issues that we're having are the parts are obsolete, sorry. And when we call the vendor, if they're lucky, they can purchase refurbished parts. If they can't, they remove the parts, take them back to their facility, rebuild them, bring them back and install them. And that's increased downtime, increased costs, and it impacts the jail's operation. And that's why we're requesting that the board execute these contracts. If there's any questions?
One question, how often are safety checks have to be done on elevators?
I know we do have a maintenance contract, and I believe, I'd have to double check. I know that we do have an agreement in place for maintenance, that they come in and
yeah, I didn't know if there was a
service.
state agency that you have to report to on elevators, probably.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
They usually send us letters if there's any repairs that need to be done,
Yeah.
or upgrades.
So the Montgomery elevator, I'm assuming that goes back to Montgomery Ward? Is that true?
I'm not exactly sure. I just know that it was built in 1962 with the original jail.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So do we have any other board comment? Any
Just to the chair, the parts on that elevator, having ridden it a number of times, are probably older than most of the board members here. So I'll make that motion to approve.
Any public comment first? Okay, we do have a motion
I'll second it.
and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get you a pad so they can go on.
Okay, our second one is probation. It's 13/2024. Adopt resolution authorizing Chief Probation Officer to accept funds from the Department of Health Care Services for the California Providing Access and Transforming Health Round 3 Justice
Say that fast 3 times.
Involved Planning and Capacity Building Program grant for the for the term of April 1st, 24 through March 31st, 26, and to execute any and all further documents upon review and approval of County Council. Approved budget adjustment request in the amount of $1.5 million, decreasing revenue account 356, 3,000, 361, 6,200, and increasing accounts number 356, 3,000, 423, 2,300 professional services, and 356, 3,000, 423, 2,800 special department expenses. And I understand we can do this all in one motion? Yes. Okay, and presenting is?
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Lucio, and I am the project manager for CalAIM Justice Involved Initiative for Yuba County. I'm here today to recommend approval for the probation department to accept PATH Justice Involved Round 3 funds allocated by the California Department of Healthcare Services. On January 23, 2023, the Department of Healthcare Services received federal approval under its California Advancing and Innovating Medi-Cal, also known as CalAIM 1115 waiver demonstration, to implement up to 90 days of pre-release services for inmates and detainees in all California correctional facilities. The goal of the demonstration is to build a bridge to community-based care for Medi-Cal Justice-Involved members, offering them services up to 90 days prior to their release, to stabilize their health conditions and establish a plan for community-based care upon reentry into the community. Currently, Medi-Cal coverage is paused while youth are detained, and costs of healthcare and behavioral health services are absorbed by the county when provided to the detained youth. This initiative, which is the first in the nation, will allow for specific healthcare services, behavioral health services, and case management to be provided to detained youth to be billed to Medi-Cal for up to 90 days prior to their release. At the regularly scheduled Board of Supervisors meeting on December 12, 2023, the Sheriff's Department presented and was approved to accept their allocation received for the same funding to provide support to the inmates of the Yuba County Jail. Yuba County Probation has been allocated $1.5 million for the term of this funding to support the youth at the Tri-County Detention Center. California Statute AB 133 mandated counties to implement a series of components for their correctional facilities, including juvenile detention centers, no earlier than October 1st, 2024, and no later than March 2026. These components are complex and require coordination across multiple stakeholders, including the jail, Tri-County Detention Center, WellPath, Health and Human Services, Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health, community-based organizations, and Medi-Cal managed care plans. This request is being brought directly to your board for consideration, as the first 10% of allocated funds have already been received. In consideration of the discussed, we recommend the board authorize the Chief Probation Officer to accept allocated funds from the California Department of Healthcare Services, PATH, Justice Involved, Planning and Capacity Building Program grant, and request the board approve the budget adjustment to implement the requirements for the initiative. I appreciate your consideration, and I'd be happy to field any questions you may have.
Well, do we have any board comment on this? Let's Seeing none. Any public comment? And do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Natalie, this is on ordinances and public hearings.
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
Okay, we're going to have Joe on my shoulder here, make sure we get our procedures correct, but we're opening a public hearing. First, I believe we're going to ask for public comment. Is that true? No. You may go ahead with your presentation.
Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Jamie Bartolome, Deputy Director at Health and Human Services. The item before you today is the amendment to the Ordinance Code 1602 to join the existing Partnership Health Plan of California Commission. I provided the first reading of the ordinance to you on December 12, 2023. My recommendation is to waive the second reading and adopt the Ordinance Code 1602 to join the existing Partnership Health Plan of California Commission. I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, now do we have any board questions and any public comment? No. Now can we close the public? So we are going to close the public hearing. And we'll ask for a vote.
A motion to waive second reading and adopt the ordinance.
Second.
You have a motion and a second? Roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer. Yes. Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think we're down to board and staff reports. So, starting at that end, Supervisor Vasquez.
I had a fortunate meeting with the Sheriff's Department, some judges, and over at Juvenile Hall. And January 9th, we passed a professional service agreement with Barbie Robinson to assess the existing behavioral health system. And I'd like to make sure that we let the judges know or gain input from the judges and the sheriff and probation and victim witness. Expressed interest in it. That's all.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
This Saturday, there's a Say Love, so I invite everybody to, of course, come out and help clean up our community. I don't know that we've arranged the food afterwards yet, so if Health and Human Services or probation really would like to do a barbecue afterwards to feed the workers, please let me know ASAP. The other thing that's going on this Saturday, I believe, is the Tri-Counties Youth Center is having their gala in the evening. And then the food bank is having their fundraiser, and I want to say that is going to be in the beginning of February on the 9th. And so that is No Bowl Goes Empty, I think, is the name of their fundraiser. So lots of good community activities. And again, echoing what I said before, we have to increase that. Community Task Force is having their meeting at the beginning of February as well. So lots of stuff for people to plug into.
Supervisor Bradford.
I've got a few items. Last week was an RCRC meeting, and we had a robust discussion on Prop 1 and whether RCRC should take a position on that proposition and what that position should be. The supervisors there raised a lot of concerns about potential impacts to existing behavioral health services in the counties, but ultimately RCRC decided to take a no position on the measure, primarily because the measure is before the voters at this point, not before the legislature, and so we didn't know that the voters would necessarily pay a lot of attention to what RCRC had to say, and there could be some negative ramifications of really being opposed to that. However, RCRC does encourage individual counties to take a position on that if they choose to do so. So if that's something my fellow board members are interested in, we can direct staff to look into that and bring before us a position on that. So also, I volunteered to serve on RCRC's Roadway Infrastructure Ad Hoc Committee. So we're going to talk about counties' needs when it comes to maintaining roadway infrastructure and funding sources and things like that. Also last week was a SACOG board meeting. We voted in our new chair and vice chair for the year, which will be Council Member Saragosa from the City of Placerville will be the chair, and Council Member Soon from the City of Elk Grove will be the vice chair. I'll be serving on the SACOG Transportation Committee this year and have the opportunity to actually chair that and once again serve on the Mega Region Working Group and on the SACOG Executive Committee as well. We are working to get Beal on an agenda for SACOG so they can communicate to the rest of the region the importance of Beal, both to national security but also to the region's economy. So I'm looking forward to that. And finally, the North Valley Rail Project has released their strategic plan. It's on their website, northvalleyrail.org. And it is open for comment until February 8th. So if anyone wants to take a look at that and provide comments, they're welcome to do so. So North Valley Rail is the plan to extend passenger rail service from the Natomas area up to Chico with stations in Plumas Lake and Marysville.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought up Proposition 1. I think it is important that we have a chance to have a position on that. It could be devastating to behavioral health potentially. So thanks for mentioning that. Supervisor John.
So I went to Fire Safe Council on the 10th and presented for the county. A lot of great things happening on the Fire Safe Council in the hills. Went to the Ellis Lake Master Plan meeting with a lot of you guys. Can't remember what day that was. Anyway, went to the Spray Safe meeting at the fairgrounds, which was partially sponsored by Yuba County Ag Department and very well represented there and did a great job. I had Aero Squadron meeting on last Thursday, and I'm going to continue to push this on you guys until May. We're having a fundraiser dinner May 4th at the Yuba County Airport. There'll be a lot of details coming out. We're going to have live music and a lot of raffle prizes, so I'm hoping everybody will come and support. Mark your calendars for May 4th. It's
Okay.
an outdoor event at the airport, a lot of cool airplanes, live music, dinner.
I think their food trucks are coming back.
I don't know that.
I saw a sign somewhere. Yeah. Anything from County Council?
Oh, I had one more thing.
Oh.
Sorry, Joe. We lost a very good employee here at Yuba County, John Stone from OES. He took a job with the state of California. I'm really going to miss him because he was, it was just like call him and he would take the ball and roll with it. But our OES is picking up right where he left off. And so we, through OES, requested, from the fire chiefs, I had fire chief meetings with the fire chiefs in the county. They wanted more hydrants, so through OES, we requested North Yuba Water District ask for funding from Water Agency to see how far we can expand fire hydrants up in the foothills and into their district. So that, I believe, happened at their meeting Thursday night. I wasn't able to go because I had Aero Squadron, but I just am going to miss John Stone. I'm very appreciative of OES because they've all reached out to me and said, hey, whatever you were working on with John, we'll pick the ball up and continue to roll with it. So that was it.
You're good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, Joe.
Nothing for our office, Mr. Chairman.
CAO?
Oh, if I can get my green light on here. It's always ornery. How about? There we go. Thank you, Natalie. So I do have one item. I had a representative for a property that is going to tax sale next month reach out yesterday. So it was after our agenda was posted. And they have an offer that they would like to submit to the county. And so I'm going to request that the board hold a special meeting next Tuesday, the 30th at 9 a.m., if that is agreeable to the board, so that we can place the item on the agenda.
Do you need a verbal agreement?
Just kind of a consensus.
Yeah, we need a consensus of a majority of the board.
All righty.
Yes.
Thank you. And then the other little tidbit, it's funny, I have like a Yahoo news feed. I don't know if anybody else at Yahoo, it's like old now, right? There's probably better news feeds. But the one that popped out this morning, and I thought it was kind of relevant for conversations we've been having, it was labeled Silver Tsunami. And so I thought, oh, okay, so what's this about? New hairstyle, what's going on? So 2024 is the first of 4 years in a row where they're saying that we will have in our nation the most people turning 65. So in any 1 year. So they said in 2024 it'll be over 4 million people will reach the age of 65, and then we'll continue to exceed 4 million per year through 2027. So a lot of people at retirement age over the next 4 years. So something to keep in mind. Yes.
So I just have a couple things. John mentioned the Ellis Lake meeting. I was surprised. Well, I think I was surprised. I thought there maybe be 100 people. I think it was standing room only in the Elks Lodge. And it was mainly an open session talking about the landscaping primarily around Ellis Lake and getting public input on that. Jim Shadd did touch briefly on the water side of it. They're working up a quote and suggestions on that, but primarily it was on landscaping, and there's a huge amount of public concern and interest in the lake, so that was good. Following up on sort of on what Cynthia said, we have a lot of volunteer groups in this area, and probably most areas. A lot of the groups that we have site visits on are primarily volunteer, and so I'd just like to acknowledge that. Do we have anything else? I think we are going to take time for a closed session, and we will take a 10-minute break. Do we need a 10-minute break? We're ahead of schedule, so let's take a 10-minute break, and then we're going to have closed session.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.